All right, namaste, my friends. Another yoga session today. And today I was like really focused on trying to make my body warm up as fast as possible. And so I was like getting in tune with how far I could flex my muscles in the pose and like how deep I could go from the beginning. Usually I do like a few soft warm ups and just go gentle and then like after a couple rounds then I get into it. But today I was like trying to intensify even those first couple rounds. And it allowed me to like just go faster into the poses and do them much stronger. And this was just, another extension of really coming into tune with my own body and like my own rhythm without worrying about going to the pace of a teacher, which is pretty dope. Um, and then I noticed I was in side angle pose or side angle twist. And in that pose, I was like, my hips wanted my right hip, or the extended hip, I should say, the one that my hands aren't twisting on. When I lifted the hip up towards the sky, because it was like bending in a little bit, it was sinking. Because of the twist, it was like sinking downwards into the ground. But then I like untwisted just the hip and pushed it to the sky. And then funnily, like in the beginning, that made me come out of my twist a little more. But by maintaining my right the extended hip to a higher level, I was able to use my abs to twist a little deeper, and then I was actually able to go into a deeper twist because the twist was coming from my abs instead of from my hips. um and then in my when I was doing tripod headstand, I was like really just remembering to like really squeeze the root lock, because it's like I find myself focusing on just like balancing my leg in the sky and like from my head. I would use my head as the base to balance my legs. But when I was squeezing my root lock, it's like my root lock was the base for my legs to balance on. And it was like as long as I could keep my root and my hips and my pelvic floor muscles strengthened and like stable, then my legs were like no problem. Because it's like on the first side, I fell from the headstand because I was like focused too much on just making my legs be straight in the sky and like trying to balance. Like if my legs went a little too far back, I would like try to bring it forward, and like that was not working out, and I actually almost fell, but like I caught myself. But then the second time through, I was just like, whenever I lost my balance, my leg went too far this way or that way, I would just like squeeze my pelvic floor harder, and that just made me like just be balanced, and it was just so freaking amazing. um yeah, and then I had a pretty chill. I was also doing um e birds of paradise pose, and I was like really trying to focus on making my lifted leg lift itself, because like my arms wrapped around it, my leg wants to just be like, oh, I'm being supported by the arm, there's no reason for me to be doing work. And it's like really pulling my shoulders down and making my upper body like sag. So I was like really trying to again squeeze my pelvic floor muscles and to use that as a base to kick my leg that's up, to just like make it carry its own weight. And I'm still like playing around with that. It's a little bit harder to like extend it when it's in this position of like being in my armpits. My legs aren't usually in my armpits standing up, so it's like the pelvic floor muscle too isn't really used to that angle of my hips. So that's just another like dimension of the pelvic floor muscle, my root lock, that I gotta train on. And I think I'll just keep doing birds of paradise and headstand until like I've strengthened my root muscles in those configurations. And then just the rest of my practice, I just feel really good. I'm getting better at like reading what I need, the poses that my body need next within the framework. It's like I always try to do like a warrior two and like side angle, and I always incorporate these. And then around those, I try to like read what my body needs. Like, are my hips tight? Today my hips were tight and my my spine. So I was doing lots of twists. I was doing like revolve triangle, side angle twists. I was doing half lunge twist, or what is that, low lunge twist. And just like seeing like my spine just wanted to be more refreshed. And then like after doing all those twists, when I got into headstand, my spine was so good. Like I didn't even feel too much pressure on it because I was like already flexing and stretching it. Um, yeah, that was, I'm getting better at reading what my body needs, and those moments where I'm deciding what my next sequence is gonna be are getting much more productive. Like I'm able to read much quicker what my body needs and incorporate and like say these are the poses that will help my body with what it needs. So yeah, I'm getting faster at that, and I just feel better. It's like it's very different practicing on my own. It's like my breath, I'm still able to maintain it, but it's definitely has space for a lot more distractions because it's like I'm just like sometimes I get stuck in a pose and I'll get distracted, and then I'm like, oh wait, go back to the breath, go back to the breath, and then I'm just like able to maintain it. And I think I just like I don't have the same getting lost in it as when I'm taking a class because all my mental process can just go to maintaining the breath, and I let the teacher lead my body. But now it's like I gotta not only lead my body but listen to my body, create new poses, or like figure out the poses that I'm gonna do